What's up, everybody? Happy Midsommar! We are here to celebrate the summer solstice and the welcoming of the new and out with the old. What's up, everybody? It is Midsommar Day, And I am happy to be here live with all of you guys on this blessed day of our Queen Mother. What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. We're already going nuts and having stupid fun here on this day. What's up? I see Scorched is in the house. What's going on, Scorched? I see you already in the chat. I also remembered to hit that live button on Shorts. So we are now also live on YouTube Shorts. As always with every stream, we are here in both formats, horizontal and vertical, depending on how you prefer to view such things here on the YouTube. So, what's going on, everybody? How's everyone feeling? How was everyone's weekends? I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend or had a wonderful weekend. And for myself, the weekend was good. Got to catch up with some friends, did some chores, relaxed a little bit. You know, had a pretty nice, relaxing weekend, which was kind of necessary and needed for me because I've been very busy during the week. So yeah, didn't really watch anything new except I did watch Midsommar again at some local theaters in here in New York, and I think they're doing it nationwide on IMAX screens. They are re-releasing Midsommar, but the director's cut of Midsommar on IMAX. And I was wondering, like, what's the difference between the original and the director's cut? And I was like looking it up and reading up on it. And I guess if you're familiar with the movie, the director's cut actually has more scenes in the beginning between Danny, played by Florence Pugh, and her boyfriend, Christian, played by Jack Rayner. And you get to see a little bit more of their toxic relationship that they have. So I guess it kind of dives deeper into that toxic relationship and what, you know, kind of like the catalyst of what's driving Danny to either go completely insane or to want to pretty much just rebirth herself anew, finding herself a new family and a new belonging when they take their trip over to Sweden. And yeah, Midsommar is one of those movies where I personally wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I was not really into a lot of these new wave horror movies that have been coming out. I was not really into the whole A24 thing for a very long time. And then because of the pandemic, I decided to give these movies a shot. I remember the first movie I saw was Hereditary. And then I saw The Witch. And then I saw Midsommar. And it was when I saw Midsommar that I realized, wow, these new kind of thriller horror-like movies that are coming out with these new directors like Ari Aster are very unique and different. And they're not your typical horror thriller type movies. There's something very cerebral about them and very smart about them. I wouldn't say I'm a stan for Florence Pugh, but I do like her quite a bit, for real. And what's going on, Arnold? Arnold checking in on the vertical stream. Nice to have you here. But yeah, like watching Midsommar, it was one of the first movies in recent years that I had to like, not I had to, but I felt the need to want to dive deeper into it. You know, so it was one of the first movies that I allowed myself to go through and watch the YouTube breakdowns and the YouTube kind of, you know, this is how the end, this is the ending explained, and this is the movie explained, and blah, blah, blah. And I found myself so encapsulated and so enthralled with the messaging and the hidden stuff within the movie Midsommar. And that is pretty much Ari Aster, right? So, and of course he came out with Beau is Afraid and all this stuff. And it's such an interesting mind that he has when it comes to directing. And this movie alone was so interesting because when you watch it for a second time, you really pick up on a lot of different things that he kind of throws in the movie that kind of hints and leads to what unfolds when you're watching the movie. Perfect case example here is that when the movie starts, you're shown this big drawing, the centerpiece, with I believe it has 4 panels. It basically tells you the whole story right there in that little drawing, in that painting. And it spoils the movie for you. But of course, when you watch it for the first time, you're just wondering like, oh, what the hell is this? What are we heading into, right? And in a way, the movie kind of like lulls you into this false sense of, I don't understand where this movie's going. I don't know what's going on here. What's the big deal? And then when the big moment happens for the first time, when the elderly guys jump off the mountain to ascend to the next plane because they have ended their life cycle, that's when stuff really goes nuts. And that's where things really start spiraling into madness. And things really start happening to the group. So it's really, really fascinating how all that happens. And you can kind of see that when they first arrive to that little area and they all take the mushrooms, that's when you could really feel the transition of, okay, we are now getting into or coming into a whole world that we're not even ready for. We are no longer part of our reality as we know it. We're getting into some crazy stuff. And I really love how it really transitioned into that and everything else that we saw. Scorch saying, let's see, seen Ari Aster's filmography. Apparently he watched a Del Palma movie, and it was so predictable he wanted to make something unpredictable, hence Hereditary. His stuff is disturbing. Original Beau's Afraid short was crazy. Yeah, I mean, I had the pleasure of sitting down with a live Q&A session with a screening of Beau's Afraid. And Ari's mind is definitely interesting. He's a definitely interesting character. And I guess a lot of his stuff is an extension of how he thinks sometimes, and kind of, yeah, sometimes I guess it's disturbing, but he loves diving into like deep messages and really not trolling the audience, but he loves just doing so many crazy stuff in his storytelling that he likes being playful with the audience in a way, and it's so for some it's disturbing, for some it's intriguing, but then when you think about it, at the end of the day, the stories that he tells are meant to be uplifting, but when you watch them, they're not really quite uplifting, right? They're very like you said, disturbing, depressing, sad at times. But the great thing here is that it's a journey for Danny where everything has been ripped away from her and nothing's going right, and she has no one really to lean on and depend on. And lo and behold, she finds it within discomfort of this pagan-like cult in the middle of Sweden, and she finds herself born again. Hence why you find her smiling at the end of the movie as she's watching all of her friends, or at least what's left of them, burning up into the crazy house there. So yes, subverting expectations. Absolutely. Thanks. I really like these flowers too. They're not real, unfortunately. So I guess it's easier to maintain. But I really wanted to get into the Midsommar mood today. So, but yeah, such a really brilliant film. I could go on and on about this movie. There's so much great things to talk about Midsommar for me. I think it is one of my favorite Ari Aster films that he's ever done. With his young career, he hasn't really done much. So I'm always looking forward to whatever he comes up with next. But Midsommar, whenever someone asks me about my love and fascination for A24, they say, well, what's a great A24 movie to watch? If I'm not familiar with them, I always will refer to Midsommar because that is like a very perfect example of the type of storytelling that A24 loves to put out there. And they love working with directors like Ari Aster, Robert Eggers, just to name a few. Yeah, I would say that Ari Aster was definitely the one director that really put A24 on the map with movies like Hereditary and Midsommar. So really, really good stuff there. So who's seen Midsommar here? Who's watching live? And of course, as always, guys, if you're watching live, don't forget, hit that like button. Would greatly appreciate. You should do an A24 tier list. Oh, that would be an interesting thing to do. Yeah. I think, so it's funny. So we're kind of like on a hiatus right now, but me and my friend Blake, we did the Movie Time podcast. And we're still planning to do it eventually. It's just scheduling and stuff is just not working out at the moment. But we broke down and we ranked our favorite A24 films on the channel. So if you look back in the channel under the Movie Time podcast playlist, you'll see that we did, I think I broke it down into two parts where we discussed what we feel are the essential A24 movies in their filmography as we were celebrating A24, because we both really love A24 films. So we have something like that. But yeah, I would love to do like a tier list one day on the stream. That would be fun. You've seen all his stuff before he started making feature films. So like his short stuff. That's another thing too about what you might call it, about A24, is that they have a knack to honing in on talent when it comes to storytellers and filmmakers. I mean, for that movie Talk to Me, those two guys, weren't they like YouTubers? I believe they were just YouTubers that they kind of just like, hey, let's do a movie. So they have like a really, the Raka Raka guys. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then the Daniels with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like those guys were just doing what? I believe they worked with Gambino for like music videos or something like that, right? And then they teamed up with A24 to do their first film. What's going on? Am I? I'm just gonna say, am I? How you doing? I hope you're having a good day. Happy Midsommar as we celebrate this Midsommar day. Arnold, yes, you have a surprise for me. So what is said surprise? You want to unveil it now? Midsommar versus The Wicker Man. The original or the Nicolas Cage one? Actually, honestly, it doesn't matter which one. I would say Midsommar over all of them. But maybe I'm a little biased because I do appreciate Midsommar quite a bit. Original. So with the original, I would say you're getting closer. You're getting closer to where I would have to really sit down and think about it. But I think for me, still at the end of the day, Midsommar beats out The Wicker Man. What about you? According to Scorch, he likes the Nick Cage one, Wicker Man. I'm excited for that new Nicolas Cage horror movie, Long Legs. I still can't wait for that. Speaking of crazy stuff, I would say, have you all had a chance to finally see the Nosferatu trailer today that was just released? I saw it at the beginning of Bike Riders last week. So I'm very excited for that. I was wondering how everyone thought about it because I think it looks fantastic. And says I'm biased. I'm Scottish, so I'm just going to say Wickerman. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Haven't found the time yet to see it. It's all good. When you do, I'm very curious because I know you said you were like looking forward to it. So, but yeah, I think it looks great. It's like a nice, like I said before, it's a very nice mix of um, Robert Eggers' style. Plus, it does feel like he borrowed some inspiration from Francis Ford Coppola. So it looks really great. What other pagan ritual movies are there? Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's do a search. I never had the chance to look something like this up. So, pagan ritual movies. Would Manos, the Hands of Fate count? If anyone knows what I'm referring to, Manos is a good one. Ritual. Was there a movie called Ritual? I believe there was, right? All right, there's a list here that I found that says 19 movies and shows every witch and pagan should watch. Now, I don't know what that really means, but I guess we could use this as a starting point, right? So we have Pan's Labyrinth that they're calling kind of Spanish pagan-like fantasy. Okay. You have The Conjuring. I don't know if I would count that as, well, I guess for witchy things, right? I guess. There's something called In the Tall Grass, Stardust, The Ritual, as we were just saying. The Ritual is definitely one. Bird Box, they're saying. Winchester, Seventh Son, House of the Witch. We have Always Lived in the Castle, The Blair Witch Project. Yeah, I guess you could kind of say that's kind of like a very pagan-like. Coven of Sisters, which is like a Netflix thing, I guess. The BFG? I don't know about that. Malevolent. Is it Malevolent? Malevolent? Spiderwick Chronicles, Outlander, Barbarians, the TV series. Last Kingdom, Vikings, and Vikings Valhalla. I mean, I feel like they're stretching a lot with this list here. So I'll give them a B for their effort. And then here, according to this list, the movie list.best, they have a list of 33 pagan movies. Northman is a good one. Yes, Robert Eggers' Northman is very good. I would say that is very pagan-like, for sure. Great performances all throughout, too. And, whatchamacallit, I love that Bjork was in there. Bjork was definitely like a nice addition to that. Am I saying I recall watched a Welsh film that was a complete ripoff of The Wicker Man? Can't remember the name. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, Conjuring, that was definitely a huge stretch. Kill List, Troll. Oh, Troll, the Netflix movie, right? Yeah, that's a good one. Arnold said, it took me some time, but I wanted to do something unique for you, and I hope you like it. You know, it's all okay. Looking forward to your reaction. You'll send it to me. Okay, Arnold. You'll send it to me on Instagram. Hey, what's up, Gorilla? Nice to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, Northman was I feel like Northman, in a way, is very underrated. You know, like I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, but it is one of Robert Eggers's great films, I think, in my opinion. I love the cinematography in it. You know, I love like that one shot they did when the guys were invading that village, and he just basically panned across the entire village as everything's going on. And the main character, I forgot his name, one of the Scars guards, right? The tall and handsome one. I guess if you were to kind of describe it, um, as he was starting off on one end, I love that camera where he pans. You see all the stuff happening, all the fighting happening. And then all of a sudden, when you get towards the other end of the village, you see that same dude ending up there on the other side. And I thought it was like a brilliant shot, in my opinion. My opinion. I love like kind of smart and unique one shots like that. So the Corridor crew hated that shot. Really? Why did they say that? Why did they hate that? Girl, for you, he's always a weirdo from that show with Famke Janssen. What show is that? I just know him also from True Blood, right? That Skarsgård guy. He was in True Blood. He was in that movie Battleship with Rihanna, which I thought was kind of hilarious. And whatchamacallit? What's something that he's done recently? He did something recently that I thought was pretty good, actually. They dislike action choreography? Really? Huh. That's interesting. See, I love like a good action like shots like that. Another great one. I know we're getting a little bit off topic here, but the in John Wick 4, that overhead shot when they go into, I believe it's a church or a building, you know, where they're basically, you just see John Wick with a shotgun with flame shells going through room to room and knocking people out. And that was all done in one shot. It almost felt like you were watching a video game scene. I've never watched Servant on Apple TV. How is it? Oh, they said the action choreo was bad in that shot? I don't think so. I would have to rewatch it again. I haven't seen it since I've seen it in the theater. Pagan movies is one genre of film where the bad guys always seem to win. Well, that's kind of true. That's kind of true. But hold on. I'm going to check something on Instagram real quick, and then we're going to continue on the Pagan movie subject. Oh my God. Dude. Arnold, you did this? Holy cow, this is pretty awesome. I didn't know you were an artist like this. Wow. This looks fantastic. Holy wow. Guys, I want to show you this. Arnold, are you cool with me like sharing this? It was called Hemlock Grove. Or something. Watch the breakdown. Okay, I'll yeah, when I get a chance, I'll check out their breakdown. Servant was really good show. Now, Servant was the one with, was that the M. Night Shyamalan show? Nell Tiger. I think Scorch, you were talking about Nell Tiger last week, I believe. All right. Arnold gave me the okay. So here, this is, I guess, like a semi thumbnail. Now, I know it's kind of bright, so I don't know what's the best way to show it. But he made, yeah, it's coming out, the white balance is not that great. But he made a pretty awesome kind of like thumbnail thing of me. Hold on, I wonder if you could see this even better. And it's done like a very cartoony style. That is pretty damn awesome. Arnold, this is amazing. Really. Arnold, later I'm gonna send you an email address. I would love it if you could send me like the actual files for this, and I could definitely see myself using that. That's really damn awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome. His daughter directed a lot of those episodes. Okay. Yeah, Servant was obviously I like Shyamalan, so I've always wanted to watch it. So I never have time, and plus Apple TV is not something I subscribe to, so I'm gonna have to find a way to watch it. Quickly, let's just go back to this list I found here. So this is a list that says movies about like pagan movies, right? So it starts off with The Ritual. You have something called Zeitgeist. Of course, it mentions The Wicker Man, Midsommar, Old Fairy Tale, When the Sun Was God. It came out in 2003. The Pagan King came out in 2018. November came out in 2017. Lair of the White Worm. It's an old movie that came out in 88. Barbarians Rising, Valhalla, Book of Eli. Would you consider the Book of Eli a pagan movie? I don't know about that. Agora, Sacrifice came out in 2016. Exorcist: The Beginning, The Witch, The Witch. Of course, that is very pagan-like. Beowulf and Grendel came out in 2005. Atlantis: End of a World, Birth of a Legend in 2011. The Borderlands, not to be confused with a video game, but a movie that came out in 2013. Tarzan and the Mermaids came out in 1948. 10-Inch Hero in 2007. I don't know. I think that has to do more with like ritualizations. Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Now we're getting into weird territory. The Crucible, King of the Sun, Haxan, 1922. We're going way back. House of the Laughing Windows, Dance with the Devil in 1997, and that's the list there. So I don't know. Good. I think there are some good choices in there. I have to watch The Ritual. I haven't had a chance to watch that. I feel like that looks like a movie that I would probably appreciate. But yeah, what do you guys think of that list? Yeah, Suspiria. Where's Suspiria? Yeah, these lists are weird. I wonder what their criteria is when they think of like pagan movies. Men. Oh, man. Man is such an amazing movie. That is another underrated movie for me personally. Like, Man is just, whew, that is a brilliantly done film. Jessie Buckley, her performance was outstanding. Outstanding. Unbelievable. I mean, a lot of people would always say that maybe the ending was too bizarre and too out there, but I loved it. I loved the manifestation of all the toxicity in this one being, all unraveling itself to her over and over, kind of like rebirthing itself. It's such a well done freaking ending. What's going on, Clone Wars? Nice to see you here. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. You're having a great day so far. The topic, so we're celebrating Midsommar today. Today's official Midsommar day. So we're talking about Midsommar, and we started talking about pagan movies, or movies with pagan themes and topics in it, witchy topics, which are some of the best pagan-like movies. And then later on, we're going to be going into a recap of the weekend box office, and we'll be talking about season 2, episode 2 of House of the Dragon that debuted yesterday, which was quite an episode. Man was indeed a mindfuck. Annihilation. Oh yeah, that's a good call with that one. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Kind of see that. Yeah, same director. You're right. That was I just did a nice conversation, a kind of retrospective on that director of Ex Machina and all that stuff. As you could see, my mind is not fully in gear yet. Alex Garland. That's it. Alex Garland. Yeah. Alex Garland, he's another one of, like, I would say if you were to talk about who really put A24 on the map, it would be Alex Garland, Ari Aster, and Robert Eggers. Those are the three directors that I personally would say put A24 on the map and in the awareness of moviegoers. Not like your general movie-going audience, but those who love film. You know, maybe I guess you could kind of say your cinephiles and all that. You know. Oh, I would say Lamb. Lamb is another good pagan-like movie. It's based off of like pagan-like folk fantasy, isn't it? Lamb should have been on the list. I only save the pictures under normal photos because I don't have a special file or any, so I can only send you all the normal pictures like on. Oh, that's fine. I just want something to be able to download. That's all. And something that I could like use in Photoshop. So I'll share with you an email address you could send it to later, if you don't mind, because that's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. And again, for those who haven't had a chance to see it yet, Arnold did an amazing drawing, an image rendition of myself that I could use as like a profile pic or maybe as part of a thumbnail. I love that he did it very comic book like, which is amazing. I thought it was really awesome. So yeah, I think that's almost had it. Yeah, it's just hard because of the light. Oh, maybe I could do this. Let's do this. If I turn this light off, well, that doesn't really help, does it? But you could kind of see. It's done kind of like in a comic book format-y way. There we go. That's pretty awesome. Love it. Well, I could do that too. Yeah. So many things to change. If I do this, can you guys see it better? Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's much better. Oh, but the white balance on the camera really compensates. Or did my phone compensate? Well, whatever. You get to see how it looks like. Oh. And then he did like a thumbnail kind of thing. Well, I can't really show vertical, but I thought that was really cool. Really good stuff, Arnold. Scorch, you could do some arts stuff too. I mean, if you want to, look, I'll never ask you guys to do anything really. I mean, if you guys want to do something, that would be awesome. Yeah, I wasn't even expecting this, to be honest with you. This was really a true surprise to me. So I really totally appreciate it. AKB in the house. What's going on? Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We will talk about House of the Dragon, Arnold. Yeah. After we talk about the weekend box office, I'll dive into that topic. Gorilla, there were a bunch of directors in the 2010s that had similar vibe. Alex Garland was one. Mike Cahill, Zap Batmanglij, I think. and another dude who got Me Too'd. Mike Cahill. Why does that name sound familiar? Hold on. Let's pull it up. Mike Cahill. Oh, right. Yeah, he did that movie Bliss. Yeah, American filmmaker. Where is the filmography here? I love when okay, here we go. Bliss, I Origins, Another Earth, and Boxers and Ballerinas. Yeah, I remember Bliss because that was like one of the Prime movies that came out with Owen Wilson and Selma Hayek. And I remember it got reviewed like everyone hated it. Who's that other guy? Zap, Bat, whoever? Zap, Bat, Man, Gill? Is that Gleesh? Mangleesh? Oh, yeah, here. Oh, it's Zal. Sorry, Zal. Did you write Zal, or am I read it as Zap? I don't know. But Zal did movies. Let's see. The East, Sound of My Voice, and The Recordist. Oh, with Marling. Oh, okay. Interesting. Just looked at the old parts of Planet of the Apes. What old parts, Arnold? Also, a reminder for everyone, if you're watching, hit that like button. Every like button we receive, a new flower will bloom from my headdress. So, and it'll be more of a Midsommar day for everybody here. Before we move on to the weekend box office breakdown, when it comes to a movie like Midsommar, for those of you who've watched it, what was like the first thing that you thought about? Or what was the first thing about the movie that hit you? You're just like, oh, wait, this movie is very different. The one from 1968. Oh, the original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston. I remember growing up, those movies would always replay on TV, those original movies. And I think at one point, I didn't know it at the time, but I realized that, oh, wow, they turned this into a TV series, which for me sounded pretty bizarre at the time. But yeah, I remember when they did all that. Oh, there was just something about me, like when I remember watching it, I was just like, there's something different about this. And it's kind of interesting. I think I like the fact that I was always intrigued by puppetry and masks. And the fact that they were able to get the apes' faces to move and talk, I thought was pretty fascinating. As a kid, I found that to be pretty fascinating. Scorch, you already saw everything he did, so you kind of knew what to expect going into Midsommar. Yeah, for me, I wasn't that familiar. You know, again, my only exposure to what he did was whatchamacallit, was Hereditary. And that in itself was creepy. I thought it was very creepy. I wouldn't say it was like horror in the sense of like jump scare. Well, I guess for some there would be jump scare, you know, or horrific imagery. In my opinion, it was just very creepy and disturbing, especially when things really happen at the end. you know, with the mom's head got beheaded and the body just started floating, and there was no sound, no music, no sound, and it was just all silent as all this was happening. It's like, this is very creepy, man. And I think with Midsommar, he used more visual stuff. Yeah. And again, like I said, it's worth watching more than once because you do pick up on a lot of things in the background. Like, I didn't even catch the whole sister's face thing in the trees during that scene when she was, you know, being crowned the Mayfair queen, or the queen or whatever. I didn't even catch that the first time. So I thought that was awesome visualizations or use of visuals to kind of tell the idea, or have the idea of how the memories and the effects of her sister passing is still haunting her, right? Oh yeah, it's a classic for you now. It's such a shame that we lost Shane Carruth. What did Shane Carruth do? Why am I not familiar with him? Shane Carruth. Oh, he only did 2 movies. Right? Primer. Director Steven Soderbergh told Entertainment Weekly, "I view Shane as the illegitimate offspring of David Lynch and James Cameron." Wow. Oh, he died pretty young. No, he's still around. According to Wikipedia, he's still around. What happened to him then? Why is he not around anymore? Oh, legal issues. Oh, wait, here we go. Now I'm starting to learn. He got Me Too'd. Got it. Yeah. Let's see. 2020, Carruth was arrested at the home of another ex-girlfriend on allegations of domestic assault and vandalism. And prior to that, he was in a relationship. And then he got a restraining order, permanent restraining order, years of domestic and emotional abuse and harassment. Oof, that sucks. Ouch. Welp. There goes that. Not much else to say about that. Oh boy. All right, well, with that said, let's talk about the weekend box office, shall we? Box office weekend. Breaking down the weekend box office. Let's go. Let's go. All right, everybody. This is a part of the Monday stream where we talk about the weekend box office, all the numbers and all the stuff involved, the stats, all the good stuff that we love talking about here. Before we get into it, it's entirely possible he was an asshole, but he made some awesome movies. Inside Out. Inside Out is the major movie in theaters right now, and it continues to freaking murder the box office. Maybe I shouldn't phrase it that way, but it continues to exceed all expectations when it comes to the weekend box office and box office in general. So, share my screen here real quick. I am on thenumbers.com. What's going on, Suck? Nice to see you here. Hope you're having a good day or had a good day. I also hope that you had a great weekend. So, Inside Out 2, in its second weekend in release, pulled in an astronomical $100 million at the weekend box office. We haven't seen numbers like this since pre-pandemic times. And it's freaking outstanding to see this happening. So far, the overall gross domestically is 355.1 million. And worldwide, get this, $724.3 million. It has now surpassed Dune 2. This is the best performing movie of 2024 so far in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. People who say the theater industry is dead, not quite, just has to be done correctly. And that's the formula that I think Inside Out, that Pixar and Disney has figured out. And I think, trust me, studios, all other studios are keeping an eye on this, and they may follow suit as far as plans and all that. Because again, if you don't know, the plan of this movie going into it was that it was going to remain in theaters for 100 days straight with no signs of streaming or premium on demand anytime soon. So probably it's at the earliest, we're talking about September or October to hit streaming at all. So I think that, plus it is a beloved movie. The original was a beloved movie. And I will say this, I mean, seeing this movie, I really loved it. It was so good. It was so well done, so well written, and very relatable and very emotional. So I think this is a movie that appeals to both adults and children. And it really speaks volumes. And I think people are showing it with their dollars that they really appreciate movies like this. I think a lot of people who are going into the summer box office expecting that, yes, Deadpool and Wolverine is going to be the #1 go-getter, and then nothing else is going to pale in comparison. Maybe Despicable Me 4, a small chance that maybe Twisters may do something. I think a lot of people were not counting Inside Out 2, and I think a lot of people are very, very surprised by it all. Am I saying, okay, thinking about cult-type movies, I first time watched Mother. What do you think of that one? Must say I didn't think too much of it. So when it comes to the movie Mother, I've always wanted to see it, but I haven't yet because I've just heard so many people dislike that movie for many reasons. But I've also heard people really like that movie. So I'm kind of on the fence on it. So it's just been in my queue for the longest time. But I've never taken the chance to go watch it yet. So I hope to plan, I plan to hopefully do it soon. But what did you think? Why didn't you think so much about it? Like, what was it about it that you didn't like too much about it? What made you finally decide to watch it also? Guerrilla Formula, get ready for a bunch of movies cut out of a template. Well, I'm just hoping that it's not. I think studios are going to be paying attention to the strategy in releasing movies. I don't think they're going to pay attention so much to what Inside Out 2 did as far as storytelling is concerned. But I think it will make studios think twice about going into and maybe creating more event-like movies. You know, movies that people are really looking forward to. I think Warner Brothers thought a lot of people were hoping and looking forward to another follow-up to Mad Max Fury Road. But I think they were looking for actual Mad Max and not Furiosa, right? So I think they kind of misjudged that whole perception of what would have been an event movie. Even though Furiosa was a great movie, well written, well done for the most part, there's still some things I do have problems with. It was still entertaining, but I think most people just didn't care. With a movie like Inside Out, that is a movie that most people really care about because a lot of people would easily say that Inside Out was their favorite Pixar movie, right? So just very, very interesting. And plus, Inside Out 2 experienced the perfect timing for a release because you had a lot of kids who are now going into their summer breaks, so a lot of free time. You had weekends that were kind of in between, right? Where you had holidays or celebrations like Father's Day, Juneteenth, right? So you had stuff that really fell in line for people that would go to movies as a way to enjoy their time off or enjoy the holiday, enjoy the time with their kids. So I think there was like a perfect storm that happened for this movie, that everything just fell in alignment, right? So I think Inside Out 2 just really benefited from a lot of that stuff. Am I saying, yeah, it's a Marmite type movie? I just didn't get into and what it was trying to say. Yeah, I feel like I've been hearing the same stuff when it comes to Mother. I think for me, I would just love to watch it just to see for myself what the movie is really about and what it's trying to do. I've also heard people who said they hated it at first, and then when they watched it again, they appreciated it later on. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be about. Yeah, girly, that's a Aronofsky movie. After Tree of Life was oof. I'll be honest with you, Tree of Life, that was hard for me to watch. I fell asleep during watching it maybe twice. I just could not get into it. And I feel like Aronofsky is one of those directors that could be really good, but then I think I don't know what it is. He gets way too much into his own head, I think. And he creates movies that are very abstract, too much so, right? But yeah, we'll talk about Aronofsky a little bit after I go through some of this other stuff here. So, coming in number 2 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. But look at for the next 9 movies, you'll see everything is failed to compare to what Inside Out 2 is doing right now. It's so unbalanced at the moment. It's crazy because you have Bad Boys Ride or Die coming in second with 18.8 million. The Bike Riders, another brand new movie with a star-studded cast, of up-and-comers like Austin Butler, Jodie Comer. But then you have Tom Hardy in it. You have Michael Shannon. You have a lot of top stars in there. Mike Weiss is another up-and-comer, but only did 10 million, right? You have the Garfield movie, 3.7 million in fourth. You have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, 3.6 in fifth. You have the movie If in sixth with 2.7. A brand new Exorcism movie, The Exorcism, 2.4. A brand new indie movie, Thelma, which I think is the summer's hidden gem movie. I love this movie a lot. 2.2 million. You have in ninth place, The Watchers, 1.9 million. And 10th, you have another new movie called Right Here, Right Now, in 1.5 million to round off the top 10. Of course, Furiosa, Fall Guy, Kind of Kindness, which is in limited release. That's the Yorgos Lanthimos movie. That really comes out nationwide starting this week, out of the top 10 for now. But in this top 10, you have, let's see, I believe If is already out on digital. The Watchers is out on digital, I believe. Furiosa, digital, right? So you have a lot of movies that already made it to digital formats, right? But it kind of shows you the unbalanced nature of the current box office right now, right? Bad Boys was fun, Arnold. I admit, wasn't sure what to expect going into Bad Boys, but I was entertained. I was actually really surprised on how much I really enjoyed that movie. So, 147 million domestically so far. Worldwide, we have it at just shy under 300 million with 289. So, I think it's doing decently for itself, honestly. I think The Bike Riders is not meant for this current landscape of box office. I also think that it was a missed opportunity of a movie. It could have been a little bit better if they leaned in more towards like a Goodfellas storyline. But instead, it was just like a memoir type of movie. But the performance in it is fantastic. It's really great. Arnold, do you think that the last Fast and Furious movie record will break as far as money is concerned? I don't know. It depends. I think if it truly becomes the last Fast and Furious movie, which I think they're kind of hinting at, then I think it may end up becoming the best performing Fast and Furious movie, especially if they really bring back all the people that audiences want to see, or at least the fans want to see, right? If The Rock comes back, which they already hinted at, right? If they get Jason Statham to sign on, they get all the living Fast and Furious crews that are around. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Even if you pass away, you'll find a way to come back. They did that with Gal Gadot's character and so many other people. If you have like a full blown out everyone is back in the game, y'all. It's all about family and let's go living our lives a mile at a time. Then I think it has a potential to probably be the best performing Fast and Furious movie. But we'll see. We'll see. And they said that they were going to make it a little bit more grounded this time. So maybe they're going to go back to its roots of being like a street grounded racing type of movie. We'll see. We'll see. But there's always going to be a fan base for that franchise. People love those movies. Just like how a lot of people love the Michael Bay Transformers movies. And I honestly don't understand it. Because the last Fast and Furious was so unbearable for me to watch. I was laughing my ass off most of the time. Gorilla, Pixar, and McDonald's use the same tactic. Get kids hooked when they're little, then milk their wallets for the rest of their life. Well, a lot of that can be said for a lot of franchises. Look at Star Wars. They'll bring back a full CGI Paul Walker as a main character. I mean, by the time this movie comes out, they may very well have that technology to do so, right? With AI and everything. So I won't be surprised. But yeah, so that's the weekend box office there. This week, we have A Quiet Place Day 1 coming out, which I'm looking forward to watching. I can't wait for that. So I think that will show a little bit of competition for the weekend box office, but I still feel, honestly, that Inside Out 2 will continue to be #1 at the box office, probably up until Deadpool and Wolverine come out, to be honest. Or Despicable Me 4. Despicable Me 4, which I think comes out second week of July. Let me see. Movie releases 2024. Let's see here. July 3rd. Oh, actually, hold on. Yeah. So not this upcoming weekend, but the following weekend is July 4th weekend here in the States. And you have Despicable Me 4 coming out that weekend. I think that will be the movie that will eventually dethrone Inside Out 2. It's not going to be at the same level as the amount of money that Inside Out 2 made opening weekend, but it's going to be up there. I'm predicting maybe like 75, 80 million opening weekend. What Inside Out 2 did, let's see. Inside Out 2 did 154 domestic. I don't think Despicable Me 4 has that rabid fan base with mixed adults and kids, to be honest with you. So I don't think it'll ever be that much, but I will say 80 million. And I'm being kind of safe on that side of things. But I think the next huge one is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. And then everything else will just come in underneath that. Arnold, at Indiana Jones, they managed to do it with CGI too. Yeah, they did the de-aging, right? Gorilla, you actually liked Dial of Destiny? I was a little disappointed in it, to be honest with you. Because in a way, my disappointment felt... It's very similar to what I feel like they did with Luke Skywalker in the new movies, where they made this guy very disgruntled, not wanting to do anything anymore and ready to give up. And they kind of forced him to go on an adventure, right? And I thought Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character was just unbearable. Very much hard to like that character. There are things in it that I appreciated, that I liked what they did. But overall, I think the movie kind of disappointed me. The ending was very sweet, though. I thought it was very, very emotionally cute. But yeah. I also thought it was very dirty what they did with the Mutt character. I was like, oh, he died in the war. Like, oh my God. But it added on to like so much bad stuff happened to Indy. It's kind of sad, you know. It's like Marion left him, his son died. You know, it's like he's getting old. He's realizing he can't keep up with the young kids anymore. It's just so depressing. Yeah. But I'm glad you thought it was fun. Now, at the end of the day, as long as you had a good time with it, then that's all really that matters. So. Oh, and earlier we were talking about Aronofsky. So let's just quickly Aronofsky, because that is an interesting guy when it comes to movies. You know, there's some movies that are amazing, and then there are movies he does that are just like, okay, what? Right? So let's pull up his filmography here. Come on. There we go. So, Pi, amazing. Amazing film. Really loved it. Requiem of a Dream, great movie that I will never watch again because it was so disturbing and depressing. But man, really, really, oof, unbelievable of a movie. But I could never watch it again because the sceneries, the stuff that plays out in that movie and that he puts on screen is so disturbing. If you want a movie that kind of highlights the downfall of like drug addiction and all that, this is definitely a movie to check out. And if at any one point you were addicted to any kind of drugs, I mean, this is a movie that will probably get you out of it. And I'm only going to go through the movies that he directed. The Fountain, unbearable. Couldn't watch it. Sorry. The Wrestler, fantastic. Love that movie. Black Swan, amazing movie. Natalie Portman's probably one of her best roles. Noah, Mother, that's where we get to back to the whole, I don't understand this movie, too much messaging, really bizarre. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but very divisive amongst moviegoers. And then you have The Whale, which I actually pretty much, I enjoyed. I thought the performances were great in it. It's you know, one of those like bottle movies where it just takes place in the home of this guy. Very heartwarming, very touching, and great performances. So I liked it, but I know there are some people who thought it was overrated. Girl, I still have nightmares of Jared Leto losing. Yeah. Oh my God. The Jennifer Connelly scene at the end is, oh man, I just can't. And I would even say that the Wayans, who's that guy? Marlon Wayans. It's probably one of the only times I will say that he had a brilliant performance in anything. Because I think Marlon Wayans is very corny. And I don't think he's like a really good actor or anything like that. But I would say this movie shows you a Marlon Wayans where I would never have expected to say like, oh, wow, Marlon Wayans can act. Even though he still plays kind of true to character in bits of it. But yeah, very disturbing movie. I was saying, I hope my windows are closed so that no birds come in and lay eggs on my thing. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Or I don't have any bees coming over trying to look for sap, for pollen. But Aronofsky is definitely an interesting director, for sure. I don't know what he's working on next, but obviously I would always perk up and pay attention to it. But yeah. Everybody, Sapo has a secret, and he's entrusting us with his secret, so don't tell anyone. But I'm going to ruin it for everyone. Everybody, Sapo is Batman. You blew it! Sorry. My name is Jeff. For everyone new watching, don't forget, hit that like button. For every like button, a new flower will bloom off of my head. So, that's a very Ari Aster Midsommar type of thing that would happen. Just random flowers blooming from my head. Ah, yes. Who's excited for Quiet Place, for that to come out? Before we get into our House of the Dragon discussion. I'm very much looking forward to this movie. I can't wait. I've been loving the franchise so far, and I'm hearing good things about this one. So I'm definitely excited to check out this movie. Arnold, the scene of House of the Dragons, what we talked about last time, where you find the body parts, this scene now has a completely different view for me after I found out something today. Oh, well, you know what? It might be time to talk about it then. Gorilla saying excited is a strong word. Okay. Are you curious? What's going on, Destroyer? What is my channel about? This channel is basically about pop culture, but main focus on movies, some streaming shows like House of the Dragon, Star Wars Acolyte, Marvel stuff, video game talk. Sometimes we talk about video games here, but it's mainly about pop culture in media. And we just hang out, have fun discussions. I talk about certain topics and we, go off from there. So if you like that kind of stuff, come on and hang out with us. Another example is that today we talked about Midsommar, because today is Midsommar Day. So happy Midsommar to everybody out there. We were talking about that movie. We went into a little Ari Aster movie. And we talked about Pagan movies. Talked about the weekend box office. We talked about Darren Aronofsky. See how we go into like little tangents? At one point we were talking about Planet of the Apes, Fast and the Furious. And shortly, we're going to be talking about House of the Dragon. Why is name LOWKEY GEEK? Geek means in studies. Well, low-key geek is a play on the term low-key, right? So think about it. Low-key is something that is kind of like under the radar, right? So one thing that people always told me before was that they never realized how much of a geek I was. Until they started really getting to know me. So I'm kind of like a low-key geek, right? Where maybe outside in public you won't realize, but I have a lot of passion about movies, video games, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and all that. So I kind of use that as a play on words. And when I came up with the channel name, I thought it was going to be very unique. Because there's a lot of people out there that you don't realize that they're into a lot of these things until you really get to know them. So there you go. Gorilla said, we'll watch Quiet Place 2, but not excited. Okay, that's fair. I seem intellectual? Wow. That's all that's all a matter of opinion. I don't think I am. Everybody, Nanka just posted a beaver in the chat. Well, I appreciate that, Destroyer. That's very nice of you to think that. Oh, Arnold, yeah. I totally understand what you mean now. Yeah. Destroyer, I'm in New York. What about yourself? Where are you hailing from? All right, Gorilla. Yeah, sorry. We'll start off the conversation with no spoilers, but at the same time, I understand your feeling. I wouldn't want to spoil anything for you, so yeah. Hopefully, we can catch you at another stream then. But that's a good segue. So let's talk about episode 2 of this current season of House of the Dragon, because I think we're all excited that we're back into Game of Thrones territory. We're back into House of Dragon discussions and conversation. we're back to must see TV week to week, right? For some, we're excited for Star Wars: The Acolyte, but then to add House of the Dragon on top of that is amazing. So we already got last week's episode, and it ended off with a very horrific moment where the son of the queen, of the current queen of Westeros, kind of wife of the current king, was unfortunately taken out, so to speak, murdered, eye for an eye, thanks to Daemon's instruction, unbeknownst to Queen Rhaenyra, and very, very horrific moment. And this episode, we pick things up from there, and we get to see the after effects of all of that and how it's affecting everyone, not just, Alicent, and not just everyone on that side of things, but how it also eventually affects Rhaenyra at the same time, right? So there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of emotions that are leading to actions that maybe are kind of questionable at this moment. And we could see that because of this infighting of the family, this bickering, this back and forth fight over the throne, how we are seeing the earlier stages of, I guess, in a way, one of the downfalls of the Targaryen family, right? Oh, Arnold, you have nothing to apologize about. It's all good. I know how people can be sometimes. Like, I'm like that too. Like, when people start talking about a certain series or whatever, and if I'm not caught up yet, I feel like I wouldn't want to be part of that conversation yet, because I'm afraid that I might get spoiled something, right? And plus, I wouldn't have anything to contribute myself. So yeah. So I totally understand Gorilla's point of view on that. But we are in this discussion now, and again, no spoilers here. But my overall thoughts and feeling about this episode, the first thing that popped into my mind is that when they start talking about Emmy considerations for House of the Dragon season 2, this is the episode where they're probably going to end up pulling a lot of clips from, because this was the Emmy reel of the House of the Dragon series season 2. You had probably some of the best performances we've seen from Emma Darcy, Olivia Cooke, Matt Smith. There's a very heated conversation between Matt Smith and Emma Darcy, who of course are Prince Daemon and Queen Rhaenyra, and it is fascinating to watch. It is just a mind-blowing performance between the two of them. You have Alicent pouring her heart out because of the events that happened in the last episode. Just brokenhearted, distraught, very emotional. You have the twins, who we don't really talk much about in this whole series. It was kind of hinted on when the series started that, yeah, the twins that were together are now separate. One is loyal to Rhaenyra, one is loyal to Alicent. So they came into play in this episode. And of course, since I am not a reader of the books, I didn't realize that this was a major point in the story, that this was like a big thing, a big conflict between the two. So that's something that got played out. We got some politics. We got good old Kristen Cole infatuated with Alicent and can't seem to stop being bad and bumping uglies. Well, Alicent can't seem to stop either. So there's a lot of things that, again, this is another great setup of what's to come for the rest of the season. And we are definitely building towards civil war at this point, and the war between within the Targaryen family. And it's, if things are going to be happening, if things are happening like what we're seeing now, I can only imagine what's to come for the rest of the episodes coming on. It's going to be bananas. But that's very Game of Thrones too. So it also makes me very excited. Because again, this is a show that anything can go. Anything happens, right? There's no boundaries at this point. I mean, obviously, by the end of watching the last episode, episode 1, boundaries are thrown all out the window. You know, so amazing stuff. I'm not Indian Destroyer, no. Arnold, looking forward to it when Otto. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. So yeah, I will give this episode a 4 out of 5 stars because it was such a strong episode, brilliant acting all over the place. Why not a 5? I kind of like to reserve that for like special moments. But I think now let's just have an open discussion about it all. So, spoilers. The label is up there. We're going to be talking about spoilers for episode 2, season 2 of House of the Dragon. So if you're not caught up yet, warning, we are going to be fully and freely opening, talking and open discussion, so to speak. So feel free in the chat to mention any of your favorite moments, any of the things that you're wondering about that happened in this episode, and we'll have a nice little discussion about it. But I'll be recapping moments as we go on. So one of the things that they did here that was brilliant, but at the same time very disturbing, was because of the death of the son now. You know, you see the queen is very, very sad, very perturbed, obviously. You have Alicent, who's losing her mind, just thinking that everything is falling into shambles, that her family is not safe. People are pointing fingers at Kristen, like, where have you been? Why did you let something like this happen? Of course, we already know that they were, doing the do. So Alicent also feels guilty that maybe she thinks that if she wasn't having this affair with Kristen, that maybe this could have been prevented, So there's a lot of remorse happening. And we see the son, the current head of the throne, Aegon, losing his ever-loving mind. He is mad. He is emotional. The poor little Lego set that his dad put together has been destroyed. He can't stand people in general. And he said it in his little outburst. Let's go to war. I want to go to war. Fuck all this, right? He's willing to just put it out all on the line because he is just so upset and emotional that he lost his son, his heir to the throne, as he kept repeating over and over again. Otto, his right hand, father of Alicent, was like, well, we need to rein in a little bit. We can't just like willy-nilly go into war. We're not going to have the backing of people, and we're not going to have the people as sympathizers on our side to help us fight and win this war. So we're going to have to make a play. We're going to have to play on things a little bit. We have to do some strategy and dramatically get people on our side on things. So how are we going to do that? We're going to have a funeral procession, open casket, body of this boy in full display of everybody as we parade through the streets. And that will get people on our side, sympathizing with the queen, sympathizing with the family. And as we go through, we're going to, ruin the name of Rhaenyra Targaryen. And they did that. And I got to say, the disturbing view of this poor boy with his head sewn back onto his body. And you could see the stitches, the sewing. How disturbing was that to see? And at the same time, you can see the mom and Alicent just emotional over all of this. It's just what imagery really to put out there. And it's so disturbing. And you can kind of, you get that sense like, yeah, this is messed up. If I saw this in my city and I knew who was responsible for it, yeah, I would say take them down. This is not right. This shouldn't be done. And as they're going through the parading and all that, they're screaming out, "This is because of Queen Rhaenyra, who claims she is a part of the throne. False claims. It's because of her actions this has happened." And it's just like, wow. So that you're starting off the episode this strong already like this. And again, Olivia does this amazing job of just breaking down in tears, losing herself because of what's happening with her family. Crying so hard that she couldn't even get the words out. I mean, that is like some deep, deep acting there. Such a brilliant performance there. Then we go over to the other side. We're now with Rhaenyra. Just in shock and amazement. Like, how could this happen? How could anyone kill a young boy, an innocent? And then, her round table, her constituents there, her advisors are saying, yeah, people aren't happy and they're all thinking you did it. You have something to do with it. And it's like, why would they think that? And it's like, well, son for a son, eye for an eye. And like, how dare you think I would ever do that? Even though she didn't say that she wanted, Aemon's head. But at least Aemon is an adult kid, right? Or adult-ish. Not a young innocent who had nothing to do with any of this stuff, right? And during this whole time, Daemon's just sitting there, just kind of like, doot-doot-doot-doot, doot-doot-doot-doot. And she catches his face. And she has this like kind of like come to Jesus moment. It's like, oh no. Did Daemon have something to do with this? And that's when we get into their quarters and they have this full-on argument. And all the emotions just poured out. Matt Smith, the way he got so angry, where he was sitting down and Rhaenyra is just like, you have always vied for the throne and you would do all of this shady stuff behind my back. You've never supported me because you're jealous. You want the throne for yourself. He got up and you knew this was like full on emotion, just like smacking the cups off the table, hopping onto his feet. And if this wasn't someone that he cared about, we would have seen a knife or a sword straight through the face of this woman. And you could see he's like holding back. He's just ready to like strangle her. And he just pours himself out. It's like, I am the rightful heir to the throne. My brother was an idiot. Blah, blah, blah. Everything here is I'm doing for the family. And of course, Rhaenyra's like, everything you're doing is for yourself. It's my throne. Would you ever accept the fact that my father, your brother, gave it to me? And would you ever accept me as your queen? And you could see, like, he can't. He just can't. And it was at that moment they knew their whole relationship was over. It was done. He leaves. She's left alone. He hops onto his dragon, and we don't know what he's going to do, but we know that he's going to be up to no good at this point. Because when you get Daemon in a bad mood, forget it. No one is safe. Everyone in this show loves acting on emotion. Everybody. This guy, he's ready to like destroy cities at this point. Right? So now you have Rhaenyra is just like, we need to prepare. We need to like put up our defenses. We need to put out the word out there that I had nothing to do with this stuff. We need to do everything that we can so that the eyes and the target aren't fully on us. Right? Now we go back to the other side. Good old Kristen. Kristen's like, I'm so mad because I can't keep my own junk in my pants. I gotta keep banging this Alicent because I can't help it. I need to make up for it. What kind of scheme can I come up with? I have an idea. So he goes to one of the twins that's loyal to Allison and say, hey, I got a job for you. Because you know what? I'm putting this on you. This was your watch, and you let this happen. I was like, what are you talking about? Where were you? No, never mind that. I'm your superior. You can't talk to me this way. You're the one at fault, and you're going to make up for it. All right, what do I got to do? You're going to sneak into Rhaenyra's place. Pretend you're her. You're the brother. Pretend you're the other twin. And you're going to kill her. That's a fool's errand. And you are a fool. Well, they didn't say that, but that's basically what they're saying. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm going to have to do it. Kind of a kooky plan, but I guess I'll do it. Sounds very comic book like, but all right, we'll see what happens. And of course, Sir Criston consoles Aegon, who's still going nuts. He still wants blood. And Otto, right hand, is like, no, we can't do that. But he goes one step beyond. You know, they were able, by the way, how bad is that member of the white cloak guard, right? The one that it used to be that Daemon used to be in charge of, that kind of carried on this crazy act with the rat catcher. First of all, he got caught way too quickly. And then when they interrogated him, they didn't even ask him a single question. He just immediately was like, Prince Daemon Targaryen. He was the one that asked me to do this. You know, paid me half now, half later. You know, and I had an accomplice. It was a rat catcher guy. He works for the family, but I don't know his name. You're not going to hurt me, right? So quick to fold, so fast. And of course, here comes Aegon. And he's like, you're not getting away with this. And just beats him to death, right? And now that they found out that a rat catcher was involved, what does he do? Don't know the name? All right. All the rat catchers in the town? Dead. And they have him hanging on display in the city for everyone to see. Holy shit. This is crazy. Right? What an act. And of course, this pisses off Otto. He's like, why did you do such a thing? Don't you understand? We need to work on your image. We need people to be behind you, not afraid of you. He's like, I need action. This is what I do. You haven't came up with any ideas of action. Unlike Sir Cole over here. Uh-oh, what did Cole do? I have a plan. We're going to sneak into Rhaenyra's castle and kill her. Oh, you're acting in haste. No, I'm acting the way a king should act. I am not my father. I'm going to be different. And as a matter of fact, I don't need you anymore, Otto. You are my father's right hand. I want Sir Cole to be my right hand. Oh, and of course, Otto's like, oh, this is dangerous. This is the fall from grace. This is the start of the bad. He doesn't know what to do, right? And Criston, of course, is like, I don't want to be the right hand. I'm too busy banging your mom. You know, of course, Allison is like, can't believe that her son is doing this and is acting in haste and whatever the case is. And she's flustered and just like, oh, all things are going to hell. You know? Arnold, cheesesteak for a cheesesteak. I finally went to see the scene where the 3 wild dragons are being tamed. I guess that's going to be coming up, right? In the next episode or in the follow-up episodes. But here now we get to this amazing scene, fight scene. Where now we're in Rhaenyra's keep, right? Dragonstone. The guy was able to sneak into the castle, but we also have this little interaction between Rhaenyra and the White Worm, right? That's her name, right? The White Worm, played by what's her name? Sophia something something. Sonoya, sorry. Sonoya Mizuno, who loves working with Alex Garland all the time. Missaria, the white worm, because she was being held captive at Dragon's Keep, right? Because Daemon was trying to get information from her about where the family sleeps and all this stuff, and Rhaenyra was like interrogating her. It's like, you helped Daemon, didn't you? Oh, I know who you are. Daemon was once going to marry you. You were supposed to bear his child, and that's all in the past. Blah blah. So Rhaenyra let her go. She's proving that she's more like her father when it comes to ruling and stuff, which is interesting. You can see the dynamics there, the conflict between how Rhaenyra would rule and how Aegon is currently ruling, right? So it's very, very interesting. And you can kind of tell that this relationship now is going to kind of turn into something where maybe, the White Worm is going to be able to maybe spread the word that Rhaenyra should be the rightful owner of the throne, because she has a lot of her networking around the towns and all that. But it was this person, the White Worm, that actually was heading to the boat, was about to go back to King's Landing, sees this guy who looks strangely like the other guy she just saw. And I was like, wait a minute, something's amiss here. So I need to, wait, hold on, time out. I got to do something real quick. So she probably was able to tell him, hey, I think your twin brother is going to do something. So this guy makes it all the way into her bedroom, Rhaenyra's bedroom, busts in, and was basically just about to slay her. And then the brother busts through the room, right? And this is another heartbreaking moment in this show, where now you have brother versus brother who love each other deeply, but also have pure loyalty to their queens, their thrones. And they are forced to fight each other. And it was a brutal fight. There's a lot of interesting dialogue there. It's like, I don't want to do this to you, but I have to, but I still love you. And basically, they fought to the death. One brother won, but could not live with himself, knowing what would just happen, and took his own life. And all this happened in front of Rhaenyra. So Rhaenyra's life was about to be taken from her, right? And at the same time, she also saw 2 lives being taken away because of this fighting between her and Alicent. And you can kind of see it in her face, where she's like, oh my God, all of this stuff that's happening is a domino effect and causing all of this pain and grief and loss. So that's going to eventually play very heavily on her as the series continues. Very heartbreaking moment. And probably one of the more talked about moments from this episode, I would say, is that little fight between the 2 brothers there. And again, I didn't realize that this was like a major part in the books, because I never read the books. But very, very heartbreaking. And then of course we see Daemon flying off, going somewhere. We got to see some scenes of the harbor town. We were introduced to a new character, because we have Corlys and who's this? Corlys and Rain. Oh God, I can't. The other Rhaenys series or whatever. I'm so bad when it comes to names, guys. I can't keep up with all of these new characters. But I have a feeling like this new character in the harbor town is going to turn into, is it Alan, I believe? The new character? I have a feeling that this is going to end up becoming a big plot point as we go on. Because, we see Alan clam baking and searching for clams, right? And then we see him seeing the dragon flying by, and he's like, ooh, dragon. So we could tell that there's probably going to be something about that. So much happened in this episode. And the episode ended in a way that I honestly can't remember. Because it's just so much that happened. Arnold, how did the episode end? And by the way, Arnold, how did you feel? What were your thoughts on this episode? Was it as Emmy Award winning as I thought it was personally? Hold on, let me pull up. I'm gonna do a quick scan of the episode just to remind myself of how the episode ended. Because for the life of me right now, I can't remember. I feel like so much has happened that it's hard for me to remember. Oh, yes, that's right. Yes. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you. So the episode ends again. We have both moms thinking back of everything that's been happening, right? It's kind of interesting because we have Rhaenyra, who had a bath, was about to go to bed, and then had this craziness happen in front of her. Then you have Alicent, who is taking a bath, washing herself because I'm sure she feels dirty for everything that's happened, getting mad at Kristen, but at the same time, we now see her with Kristen in the bedroom. All of her frustrations being put on Kristen, because now there's a new layer of frustration because now he is the right hand of her son. And in a way to kind of make her feel better about everything, oh well, I'm just gonna fuck him, right? And of course, you know that he wants to also. And yeah, the episode ends with them basically about to start in indulgence in sexuality. And that's how the episode ends, right? It's like there's a lot of emotion in this whole entire episode, a lot of conflict. And Alicent is such, I guess, an imagery of you don't know what to expect, and there's a lot of conflict and a lot of hypocritical stuff happening. And she knows she's doing everything wrong. But at the same time, it's making her feel good, or at least it's making her cope with everything that's happening. And that's why she continues doing it. And Christian, of course, he's already given up that he's any good. And he's just feeding on his desires at this point. And it may end up truly just biting him in the ass at the end of it all. So, I know these three wild dragons will change so much when they do it after the books. Which dragons are you referring to, Arnold? Again, I'm not so versed in the world here, so I'm curious who you're referring to. And what did you think of this episode? What were some of the best moments of it, in your opinion? And then separately after that, because I forgot to ask, how did your barbecue go on Saturday? I just asked you a lot of questions, so I'm expecting a lot of answers. But yeah, well, I'm waiting for Arnold to provide his answers there. This was a very well acted episode, and like I said, I won't be surprised if come Emmy time next year or this year. No, I don't think this qualifies for this year. This would be an episode that they were probably going to pull a lot of clips from, because the acting of Olivia Cooke, Emma Darcy, Matt Smith, the strongest amount of acting I've seen, like powerhouse acting, powerhouse, really, really, gritty and emotional. Yeah, just well done acting all across the board. Found the episode to be very good for me, which the scene is very cool where Amon comes out of the on his dragon. Yeah. Oh, and the look on his face too. He is just he I think he's at that level. We've reached level of I don't give a fuck. Now he's going to be doing his own thing. And you could kind of see it too. Like Rhaenyra's worried about that, right? Because she met with one of his daughters and she's like, I want you to take Moon something, the dragon, and patrol, keep your distance, keep an eye on King's Landing, make sure to report anything that happens. And then she was wondering, like, well, what are you gonna do? And what about Dad? And she's like, your father is on his own path right now. And what a path that could eventually be. Because it is going to be bananas. Bananas. Glad to hear the barbecue was awesome. And what was the main centerpiece? Did you do another pig? Also, another follow-up question to that is like after the barbecue was said and done and all the eating and drinking was done, how much did you sleep afterwards? How many hours did you sleep afterwards? Because I'm sure it all hit you at the end of it too. I would probably be knocked out for a full day if I had a barbecue spread. If I'm thinking of the type of barbecue spread you might have had, based on the other pictures you sent. Hold on, guys. Just checking the phone, make sure that the world's not burning. Da, 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 da. Checking the phone. Oh, I have a package that was delivered. Oh, almost had a spill there. That's not good. That's not good. That would have been no bueno. No bueno on my part. Oh, Arnold just sent a photo of the barbecue. All right, let's check this out. Oh, man. Wow. That looks, oh, mouth watering. That looks fantastic. Can I share this? Arnold, do you mind? I always like to ask. I don't want to ever assume. Because this, I mean, if you're a fan of barbecue and you like the meats, this is this is brilliance right here. This is yeah, this is good stuff. Oh, your uncle's a butcher. Oh, awesome. So that's the logo of his business. I mean, look at this. Oh, that just looks glorious. Arnold got all the meats. That just looks fantastic. Oh, and huge. Really cool. Um, Arnold's saying, yes, he sells everything you need. The meat. It's all about the meats. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you really had a good time. It looks like an amazing spread, honestly. Yeah, it looks fantastic. And I'm sure you needed some time to recover after all of that. So, what a perfect way to recover on a Sunday and then get to enjoy watching House of the Dragon, right? So, you totally made me hungry, man. I'm like, I think my stomach is starting to growl because of it. Unbelievable. So yeah, so that is my recap and review, so to speak, of House of the Dragon season 2, episode 2. So far I'm liking everything that we're getting with this show so far. And it's only a matter of time. Seriously, it's only a matter of time that more craziness is going to happen. It's like we're building into something huge, something big, and we're going to have a lot of infighting, and it's just going to be unbelievable. So I can't wait. I can't wait. Do I think it'll be 3 seasons? I think they did announce, and I'll check right now. I think they did announce that literally right when season 2 debuted, that they already signed on a season 3. So let me see. House of the Dragon season 3. So let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. So after the debut, they announced season 3. So season 3, showrunner Ryan Condal teased what he's been toying with for the third installment of the show. Condal told Games Radar that the biggest challenge is finding fresh storylines that still maintain the narrative explosions that the franchise has become famous for. Think that devastating birthing sequence in the House of the Dragon pilot, or even the Red Wedding in its predecessor series Game of Thrones. There's a rhythm to all of this. These kinds of stories, as you can, let me just share this so you can see what I'm reading. Season structure. So hopefully you start with a bang and then you build to another bang through the series, but you're really trying to arc out the characters so that each season is different experience for all of them. Blah, blah, blah goes on about the challenge. But yeah, season 3 is, he's hoping that season 3 is going to be a wild one as well. So that will only mean that we're getting so much more for this upcoming season. For this current season that we're in now, I should say. And then if you saw the trailer, the teaser trailer at the end of this episode, we're going to get a bunch of dragon action going on. So that's going to be really fascinating to see how that's all going to pan out. It's going to be nuts. Nuts. Bunch of nuts. So yeah. You want to see Cannibal the Dragon Eater? Who's that? Who is Cannibal the Dragon Eater? Is that someone that we've already been introduced to? Or is that someone that we should be introduced to? Maybe in this season. Also, once again, everybody, hit that like button. Every like button you hit, a new flower grows on top of my head. At least I'm trying to make it grow. I don't know if it's really going to do it, but if you're just joining, we are talking about season 2, episode 2 of House of the Dragon. So let us know your thoughts on this episode. This is an open discussion. You could fully talk about anything you want to talk about this show. Very special dragon. Okay, let me see. Cannibal, the dragon eater. Okay, I am on. This is funny. A wiki of Ice and Fire. All right. The cannibal was black as coal with menacing green eyes. He was the largest and oldest of the 3 completely wild dragons dwelling on Dragonstone, the other 2 being Sheep Stealer and Grey Ghost. They called him cannibal because he would practice cannibalism, feasting on dead dragons, newborn dragons, and dragon eggs. Wow. Okay. So is that what they're hinting at? Because I did see in the teaser at the end of this episode that they have dragon eggs. Are those the random dragon eggs that they found on Dragonstone that eventually will birth these 3 dragons? Is that how the story goes? Oh, the dragon's been living there for years. So they people on Dragonstone just aren't aware of them. If that's the case, then I wonder whose eggs those are that they have. Where did they come from? Yeah, from well, no, I'm talking about. So I don't know if you had a chance at the end of this episode 2, they gave us a little teaser trailer for the next episode, and there's a moment where in this teaser trailer you see them have dragon eggs, and it looks like they're using that, or maybe using that for some sort of barter or something like that, trade, show of dominance, or whatever the case is. So I wonder where did those eggs come from. I don't know if you know, because I know you read the book, so. Maybe I could even pull it up. Let's see. That should have already made its round on YouTube. So I'll pull it up and I will freeze frame it so that we could take a look at it and we could start speculating. Let's see here. House of the Dragon. Episode 3 preview. Here we go. I'm going to mute that. And then let's see if I can pull up that scene. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So if you see this, see they uncover, it looks like 4 dragon eggs. So I wonder where did these dragon eggs come from? I don't know if you can see it. The captions are in the way. These 3 eggs would have to be the 3 eggs that were stolen. I know that 3 eggs from Game of Thrones from the dragon what one without an eye forgot of his name? Forgot to in hell back then. So you think this is the origin of those three? Didn't see it at all. Could this be where those three eggs came from? That eventually landed in Daenerys' hands? Is it Daenerys? What's up, Star-Lord? Star-Lord is in the house. Happy Midsommar Day, Star-Lord. Blessed be. I don't think they say that, but I don't know any phrases in Swedish, so. Arnold, you think so? Okay. We'll see. It looks exciting. I mean, there are 4 here, so that means something happened to one of them, right? If that's true. So we'll see. Yeah, but this episode just teases a whole bunch of anger, dragons, more dragons. People on dragons. It's going to be bananas. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, the dragons take a long time to grow. So you're right. It wouldn't, yeah. It would be weird if one hatched. Oh, Star-Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, wish Star-Lord a good morning. He just woke up. And realizes that he needs to wake up earlier than this.
How about you thank them, dickless?
Yeah. Then the episode 3 is going to be very action-packed. And I think it's going to be insane. Insane for sure. Arnold, it's 11 p.m. for you. Thank you for still staying up. Hopefully you're not too tired yet. Also, I just, to kind of go on to add to our earlier discussion from earlier in the stream about Inside Out 2 and how amazing that movie's performing, here are some additional stats. So, second best weekend of all time for an animated film. Seventh best second weekend ever of all movies that's come out. The first film to cross 100 million in its second weekend since 2019's Avengers Endgame. See, like we haven't seen numbers like this since pre-pandemic times, right? Crazy stuff to think about, man. Crazy. And just to add to that, the top 10 biggest second weekends of all time, you have Force Awakens with 149 million, Avengers Endgame, 147 million, Avengers Infinity War, 114 million, Black Panther with 111 million, Jurassic World with 106 million, Avengers 103 million, Inside Out 2, 100 million. New to the list. How about that? Crazy, crazy stuff. Aros, boa noite. I hope I said that right in Portuguese. You know, my mom speaks Portuguese, but I don't. But nice to see you. Good evening. Hope you had a great day. Hope you had a great weekend. Always a pleasure seeing you. The voice actors for Inside Out. Yeah, you have Amy Pollard, who is the main voice actress. She plays Joy. And then, hold on, I'll pull up the voice actresses here. You have Maya Hawke, who plays the new character of Anxiety, who is also one of my new favorite actors in Hollywood right now. I find her to be quite pleasing to the eyes. Also, she is the daughter of Ethan Hawke and what's her name? Kill Bill. Uma Thurman. She is the daughter of Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke, and she is very pleasant. You also have Ayo Edebiri, who plays Envy. Paul Walter Hauser plays Embarrassment. Tony Hale is Fear. Louis Black is Anger. And Phyllis Smith from The Office is Sadness. So there you go. Unfortunately, Bill Hader did not return to reprise his role as Fear. I'm not sure why, but yeah, that was a downer. But if you don't know, then you wouldn't realize it, right? But if you recognize or you can really pinpoint his voice, then you'll definitely find out. And on top of that, you had June Squibb, who plays Nostalgia. You have Diane Lane, Pete Docter, who is the producer, but directed the first Inside Out. Kyle MacLachlan. So you have like a good amount. Ron Funches, Yvette Nicole Brown, Frank Oz does a voice on the show. Flea does a voice. So you have a lot of famous people in this movie. Arnold's favorite animation film this year is Kung Fu Panda. Oh, you got to meet Jack Black. That's awesome. How did that come about? How did all that happen? He seems like a very, very cool dude. So does this mean once you become elderly, we can push you off a cliff? Yes. The minute I turn 72, I will take I will end my life cycle in a brilliant ceremony where I just moan and groan and scream at the dinner table. And then I will get on a cliff and I will just walk off it. And I will go off into my next phase of everlasting life or whatever the case is. Yeah. I think according to the Midsommar tradition, I am now within the fall season of my life. heading into winter, not so soon afterwards. Arnold, I was in Berlin at one of the primary ones, and he was too in a hotel, and you were able to talk to him for 8 minutes. That's awesome, man. That's very, very cool. He asked you a question and didn't expect that answer. Well, what did he ask you, and what did you say? Sorry, what kept you up all night that led you to wake up just now? Unfortunately, I am not on shrooms. I am on a drink called Celsius, which is just an energy drink. It's peach mango and green tea. But sometimes when I drink these things, I do feel like I'm on something. So there's that. Also, since you missed it earlier, I have to show you this brilliant thing that Arnold did for me. Again, was not expecting this, and it was such a pleasure seeing this. But he did a nice little drawing of me. And I don't know, I may want to use this now on the channel. I mean, look how cool that is. That looks amazing to me. And then a little kind of like a banner. I mean, that just looks fantastic, doesn't it? I am so blown away by it. So blown away by it. Ooh, Well, it's a good thing that can is empty. Oh, I pronounced it well. Oh, awesome. Good to know. I know he asked me what my favorite film is about him, and my favorite film is House of House of Mystery. Watch it, and he was very happy about that. Oh wait, is the movie? Maybe that's the German title, but is it what was it? The movie about the walls or something like that? Oh, what's the name of that movie? Um, the House with the Clock in its Walls. That one? Are you talking about that one? It's the one with it's him and I think Charlize Theron. Is that right? No, Kate Blanchett. Yeah, Kate Blanchett's in the movie. Oh, Kate Blanchett. Love her. That's awesome. See, I think they like it when you kind of surprise them like that, where he plays a magician, right? Yeah. If it was me, I would say that my favorite movie of his is Nacho Libre. I love Nacho Libre. That is like a movie I can watch anytime. It's for me, it's so funny. So funny. Starlord, actually, it's been going on for a couple of nights, binge watching movies. True Grit and Django Unchained, which I saw for the. Oh, wow. Now that's a great double feature right there. True Grit is an amazing movie. That's Haley Stanfield, right? When she was very young. You know, I've seen that movie once, and I remember I liked it so much, but I've never had a chance to watch it again. So I definitely need to give it another shot. And Django Unchained is another great movie, another great Tarantino film. Now you watched, unless you watched the original True Grit, I'm curious which one you saw. Jeff Bridges was amazing in that movie too. The picture of the girl in the back is like a bobblehead. That's Florence Pugh from Midsommar, the 2012. Okay, yeah, that was a great movie. I need to watch that again. It's been a long time since I watched it. But you're in your little like kind of Western kick. What did you think of both of them? I met a few people, but the guy is 10 out of 10. Just human, very down to earth. That's good to hear too. Like I always feel like just based off of how I see them act in like public, I feel like Jack Black would be a very down to earth kind of guy. Very humble. Someone like that too, but he doesn't like to be bothered is Adam Sandler. Because you could easily see Adam Sandler walking around downtown Manhattan all the time because he still lives here. And people run into him all the time. And I think, you know, when you say like hi to him, he'll be like, hey, but he doesn't like having conversations. He doesn't like to be bothered. Star, you love them? Yeah. Those are great movies. Really, really great. And I'm kind of envious that you got to see them for the first time. Already happened? Oh, what do you mean? Django's like John Wick in a way. Yeah, in a way. Especially the shootout at the mansion, which was like bonkers. But one of Leo's best performances in some time. Like I would put this up there with some of his all-time best performances. I mean, the type of character he has to play in that movie. Like you really, really wanted to hate him. Well, I never seen Adam myself, but I've seen a lot of people who, or I know people who bumped into him, and they all say he's very quiet and shy, and he doesn't like to be bothered so much. And you can kind of see it sometimes in videos that people take of him. Like me, like I don't like. There was a time, a long time ago, I used to work at a Starbucks in Times Square, and I would bump into celebrities all the time because it was just like one of those like areas that was just like it's like a good prime spot for celebrities to hang out because you had Broadway, and then down the block was a very famous club that people went to. So, I saw like I saw Quentin Tarantino, I saw Sarah Jessica Parker, I saw Ralph Macchio, I saw who's that? Marilyn Manson, Henry Rollins, Weezer the band who showed up a couple of times, Debbie Gibson. The entire cast of Real World Seattle. That was an interesting one too, because down like 3 blocks away from where we were was Viacom, MTV Studios, right? So I think it was like a Friday night or something, and it was really dead. So I tried to close the shop early because I was a manager, and I just heard, and I looked up, and it was like a group of 6, 7 people. And I was just like, I was about to do one of these, like, sorry, we're closed. But then I recognized them. I was like, fuck me. It's the entire cast of Real World Seattle. I was like, and I asked someone, just open the door for them. Just let them in. And like, we have to. Because, I mean, they're from Seattle, first of all. They're from the real world. And they need their coffee, right? So I'm just like, damn it, I have no choice at this point. So yeah, so they were quick, they were nice. They felt very bad. They felt sorry that they had to like disturb us, but I'm like, no, it's all good. It's all good. Janine Garofalo stopped by a couple of times, Very, very interesting location. But yeah, I bumped into a lot. I would bump into people sometimes in the city walking around too, like Matt Damon, Ron Perlman. At one point in anyone's life, if you hang out in Midtown Manhattan enough, you will bump into Sarah Jessica Parker at any given moment because she's just all over the place there. Arnold saying, I was in a store in Cologne, and on the other side it suddenly says Dirk Nowitzki. Really? And I think to myself, so bro, what the hell? Fuck? You just wanted to walk there and he jumped into a taxi. Oh, it was yeah. I've been to Cologne. And that was one of the places I visited when I was in Germany. Very beautiful place. But a lot of the things were under construction or renovation. But that's funny. All right, guys. I think I'm going to wrap things up like in about 10 minutes. So it's already 5:20 here. Time flies when you're having fun. We're already 2 hours to 20 minutes in. So whatever you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it before I head on out. So what's next on the agenda for your movie binging? Were those the only 2 movies that you watched? Just True Grit and Django? Were there any other movies that you watched? Also, is anyone up to anything cool this week for their next week? For this week, I should say. Arnold, I would give everything for once to get to know Natalie Portman. I am right there with you. Natalie Portman has always been a major crush of mine for a long time. And the fact that she's also intelligent and yeah, she just seems like an amazing person to get to know. And she's newly single, from what I heard. You're planning on more, but I'm watching reaction videos. What kind of reaction videos are you watching? And for what? Like what in particular? Last one is Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2. Wow. That's interesting. Oh, you're talking about Henry Cavill, Arnold, right? He is a total nerd. Wasn't the story that he almost missed out on the rehearsal or the audition for either Superman or another movie because he was too busy with his raid in what was he playing? He was playing I forgot what game he was playing. Warcraft. He was playing Warcraft. And he said he almost missed out on his audition because he was so busy with it. And of course, we all know that he could build his own computer. We all remember that video. He's a big fan. So I think that's very cool. Last night was The Chosen Season 4, Episode 7. Nice. Yes, Arnold. Yes, that would be great if you can. I don't know if you could see it on the YouTube channel, but I have an email address listed that you could use that to send it to, or I'll just send you the email address through Instagram later when I get off stream, because I would love to see what I can do with that. I like it so much. I may use it as maybe a profile pic. Maybe then I'll change the banner on the channel because it looks fantastic. Really, it really does. I look like the chosen one of Scientology. No, I am celebrating the summer solstice. I'm celebrating Midsommar. Today is Midsommar, where we welcome new change, new life, a new chapter. We get rid of the old, and we end their cycles, and we become anew as a community. And we eat a lot of mushrooms. We drink a lot of psychedelic teas. And we dance and we frolic. And we sacrifice 9 individuals for the Mother God and to celebrate. And I love how part of my head gets caught up in the green screen when I lean this way. Now I am one with Florence Pugh. Cano's reaction is the type of reaction I was hoping for. What the fuck is this? We are celebrating Midsommar. Cano? Or Canal? Today is the welcoming of the new summer solstice. We're enjoying our pagan ancestry. Canal says, no, it's demonic. Star-Lord saying, where is Nicolas Cage when we need him? What would happen? What would happen if I just, sat here and for like an hour, I just do this the whole time as the music plays out? Will I turn into like one of those like AI characters that you see sometimes on Twitch? And I'll just start answering random questions? Because I'm not going to do like that real life NPC crap. That just looks, looks ridiculous to me. I could be Mike Tyson's therapy doctor. Yeah, maybe I could find a way to like calm him down sometimes. You would use this as a wallpaper somewhere? Okay, number 1 through 10. Hold on. Okay, I got it. Pick a number between 1 through 10. Can you guess which number I'm thinking of? Children of the Forest. 7 is wrong. Sorry. But you are very close. Can anyone else guess the number I'm thinking of? 1 through 10. If you guess correctly, you will be forever remembered in the winds of nature and life essence. 4 is incorrect. 6, Canal, you have now solidified yourself with the rest of the children in the winds of the flows of summer. You have also unwillingly volunteered to the next sacrifice, so we will be appearing at your doorstep later today to pick you up and bring you to Sweden as we prepare for the sacrificial 9. As we crown the maiden queen of this year's Midsommar. Thank you. I got German blood. Started saying, I remember I also saw MacGyver, the movie where he searches for the treasure of Atlantis. Are you talking about the actor who played MacGyver, or it was a MacGyver movie? 1994. What we do here is not violence. It's not grotesque. It is a part of our life. It is a part of our pagan traditions. It is beautiful. And we all love that you share with us this moment of our year. I swear that's what they kept saying in the movie. It was so funny. What do you call a bike with, oh no. Is this racist? Canal, is this gonna be a racist joke? Because we don't like that stuff here. Come on now. Richard Dean Anderson. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Yes, that is MacGyver. Oh, there it is. Well, it was an actual MacGyver movie. MacGyver, Lost Treasure of Atlantis. Wow. Was this a made-for-TV movie, or did they actually release this in theaters? Or, what year was this? 1994? Was this like a straight home-to-video kind of thing? Same year they made Stargate with Kurt Russell. Oh, that's a classic. Stargate. A lot of fun. You know, I've never watched the shows. I've never ever watched whatchamacallit? MacGyver. That was just like a show that I never had a chance to see, to watch. Do I know mom jokes? Oh man, I haven't done like a mama joke in a long time. One of the ones I used to always like to say is like, your mama's so fat she spit butter. Mother's so stupid she ties a bike on her back and plays Transformers. Oh, okay, that's good. So I'm saying it looks like a made-for-TV movie, but it's classic. I mean, I'm looking at this list here. I didn't realize they made so many MacGyver movies. You had that. You had MacGyver Trail to Doomsday. Right? Was there any other ones after that? Or around that time? It's kind of amazing to think of how big MacGyver was during those years. Luckily, no one makes mother jokes in House of the Dragon. Yeah, everyone would be dead. That's it. Oh my god, you make one mother joke in House of the Dragon, that's it. You ain't gonna live. Not one bit. All right, before I head on out, I'm going to take one quick look at headlines to see if there's anything worth talking about before we head on out for the day. As a reminder for the rest of the schedule for the week, I will be back Wednesday, hopefully around 12 noonish. That's the goal. so that we could talk about the latest episode of Star Wars Acolyte, and then we could talk about any other Star Wars related news topics that day. And then Friday, I'll be talking about Inside Out Day 1. I'm very much looking forward to this movie. I'm still hoping that I could attend the premiere on Wednesday. That's the plan. We'll see if that happens. If not, I can just check it out on Thursday. The only thing my hesitation about going to the premiere is because they herd you like cattle whenever you go to premieres like that. You have to show up at least 2 hours in advance, wait in a very long line, and then you have to wait for them to dictate you to go here, to there, this and that, because they have a whole red carpet and press line and blah, blah, blah. They usher the actors and actresses there. And then by the time the movie starts, it's already like 2 hours past the start time. I don't get home till like midnight or whatever. And I don't know if I'm in the mood to deal with all that hassle. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not like a big star fucker or anything. So I could care less about the red carpet, but we'll see. Arnold's going to bed. Arnold, you have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, especially since it's late at night for you. Really appreciate, again, the pictures. I will send you the email address later after the stream, and I will catch you next time. Thank you so much. Starlord, you're going to be watching more. What other movies do you have planned to watch this week? You'll be looking around for movies. Do you usually just like look to see what's for free on YouTube? Is that usually what you look for? I wonder if there's a list somewhere online that lists all the new free movies on YouTube. Oh, look, I found one. So here's a list, whatever tickles your nostalgia bone. Okay. So I found this list. Maybe this could help you a little bit with your search. The best free movies on YouTube right now, June 2024. Okay. So let's see. We have 10 Things I Hate About You. 13 Hours, if you're in the mood for some John Krasinski stuff. My Best Friend's Wedding, that's a classic if you're into rom-coms. Alien, the 1979 original Alien movie is on YouTube right now. Is that true? Wow, now that's a movie to watch. Lady Bird. I Killed Giants. Never saw that. My Friend Dahmer. The Illusionist. I remember this came out. I believe this came out around the same time The Prestige came out. And it was kind of like trying to... It's just one of those phenomenon that you have two movies that came out with the same... Almost the same premise. Hold on, let me see. The Prestige came out in 2006. And The Prestige came out in 2006. And The Illusionist came out in the same year. So I thought it was really funny. He had competing kind of magician-like movies. Of course, nothing beats The Prestige, in my opinion. That was a good Christopher Nolan movie. Night of the Living Dead is free on YouTube. There you go. Those, according to this list, Digital Trends, those are some hot picks for free movies to watch on YouTube. So maybe that could help tickle your nostalgia bone a little bit there, Starlord. You have a list on your app? What kind of app is it? There's something weird trending on X right now. Canceled cartoons. Oh, are they still going on about Coyote versus Acme? I don't think that movie will ever see the light of day. I honestly don't think so. Doesn't work sometimes because of bugs. What's going on, GTA crew? I'm doing well. It is Midsommar. So we are here celebrating Midsommar Day, welcoming in the summer solstice, bringing in the new, out with the old, life cycles, happiness. I hope you're having a blessed day yourself. We had a lot of cool conversations and discussions today, talking about the movie Midsommar, Ari Aster, A24. At one point, we were talking about Darren Aronofsky. Then we talked about the weekend box office, episode 2 of season 2 of House of Dragon. We talk about a lot of things here. All hail Loki. I am the Queen Mother. GTA crew, are you a fan of Midsommar the movie? Ooh, my back is killing me. I'm definitely approaching the fall season of my life. Oh, you never heard of it? Okay. It is, if you're familiar with the movie production company A24, it's definitely one of their stable movies, like main stable movies. And Ari Aster is definitely one of those like interesting directors. So if you've heard of movies like Beau is Afraid or Hereditary, then this is along those same lines. So yes, Star-Lord, join our pagan cult. We have cookies, mushrooms. We have psychedelic teas. And we validate your parking. GTA crew, I'm assuming that you are a big fan of the GTA franchise. Are you looking forward to the next one, to 6 coming out? Star saying, all you need to know people. It's better than the Acolyte. I would like to think that our pagan cult is much better than the witch coven that we saw in the Acolyte. Although I did like their song. So we need to come up with some sort of chant. La, la, la. I don't know. GTA crew, yes, I can't wait. Nice. I'm hearing good things about it. Well, I'm hearing interesting things about it. Obviously, there's still a long ways of release, but I have a feeling it's going to be a very interesting one for sure, especially if you're a fan of the franchise. I know Star-Lord loves GTA. Of course, I'm just playing. He has some very interesting qualms about GTA 5. Also, if you're wondering who I'm talking about, I do have two chats going on because I have two streams going on at the same time. For anyone new here, I have the vertical stream and I also have the regular horizontal stream. So, all right, GTA crew, thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Hopefully, I could see you live again in another time. Have a wonderful evening and enjoy your evening of Midsommar. Because, you know, during Midsommar, it doesn't ever get dark. We have midnight, we have sun midnights where we celebrate the welcoming of summer. Yes, we have the power of shrooms, the power of pubes, the power of many. You'd have to watch the movie to understand what we're referencing. We all share in everyone's love. We all share in everyone's happiness, but we also share in everyone's grief and suffering. Oh man, I'm sure people are like tuning in or they're coming across this stream and just like, what the hell is going on here? All right, y'all. I think I am going to call it as it's... Yeah, man, this day just went. It's already approaching 6. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our Midsommar celebration. I appreciate all of you, my children of the forest, my children of the pagan society, my children of summer. I will catch you all again on Wednesday as we converse and we talk about Star Wars The Acolyte Episode 5. And if it continues to be a shit show compared to the rest of the episodes, and according to a lot of the pundits out there on the internet, I will make sure to have a helpful helping of mushrooms and teas for everyone to enjoy as we have our conversation. Have an enjoyable, relaxing, and joyous rest of your day, your evening. Namaste. Namaste the hell away from the food, that's right. But I hope all of you have a great day. Stay cool, stay class, stay safe. And we will all ascend into the next seasons of our life. Until next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.